injuries related to electronics overuse are actually on the rise, but the condition tech neck can actually be prevented or treated with a couple of changes. So how to use your device and the ways we can help prevent this. Dr. John Zielonka is joining us this morning. Great to have you. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.
So this Look Up Canada, this campaign about tech neck, tell me a little bit more about it.
Well, what tech neck is really the devastating effects that happen to the neck, the spine, the nervous system from people staring down at their handheld devices all the time. And what we're seeing is, especially in kids, the iPhones, the iPads, not just the computer use and so forth. And the results are actually quite significant.
Okay, what are you seeing? I mean, as a chiropractor, you have people coming into the office now. What's the damage that's being done?
Well, if people understand when you do this, what's happening is you're actually not only putting pressure on the spine, you're actually impinging the nervous system. So you can see the headaches, the neck pain, but you're affecting things like blood pressure and digestive issues, learning abilities and so forth, jaw pain. And what's interesting now is what's happening is other health professionals are finally starting to see this. We've been seeing this for years, but now surgeons are actually starting to see changes in people's spines. So we're seeing neurologists who have coined the term digital dementia, where it's affecting your brain function and your ability to learn.
From a different generation's perspective, we're only dealing with this, for the last 20 years, but for our children, they've been growing up with it. So these are changes that are happening even when they're in the growth mode of them sitting on the couches, with their iPads, their games, anything. Like it's going to have a lot more damage long term for them.
You're absolutely right. It's something where people used to think when you got out into the real world and you got your job and you sat in front of the desk or the computer, but we're now starting this with kids at age 3, 4, 5. It's crazy the long term effects, and the truth is we're really not going to know what they are until down the road, and it's going to be too late at that point in time.
Okay, we've got some graphics for us this morning. So what are we looking at here?
What you're looking at here is when your head is directly over the rest of the spine, that's the best way to support it. So your head's about the weight of a bowling ball. But you start to see here where if the head comes forward even an inch or 15 degrees, you've almost effectively doubled that weight. And for every inch or every 15 degrees you move above that, that actually increases by almost another 100% as well.
Okay.
So when you're getting the kids like this,
this is more what we see, though. That would be really good to see. That's not what we're seeing. We're seeing this.
Well, that's
especially
exactly
over games.
Exactly, and this is actually having effects, but this is what you see kids doing, where the effective weight of your head is 60 pounds on the spine of a child. It's insane, really.
Okay, so let's take a look at what the spine actually looks like.
Well, as I said, this is when the orthopedic surgeons were now starting to notice this. So you should have a curve in the neck. Right? I don't know if you know much about if your viewers know much about engineering, but this is why bridges have arches to them. It gives them more strength, more support. When you do this long enough, you actually start to lose the curve in the neck. Okay? As that progresses, not only do you lose the curve in the neck, but now you can see how the head is coming forward. And appreciate this is not what we call a flexion view in X-ray. This is how the neck looks all the time. It's not we're not taking the X-ray with your head forward.
Permanent.
This is what it's looking like all the time. And then eventually you in fact even start to reverse that curve in there as well. And then once that happens, you're putting excess pressure, and that actually leads to degeneration in the spine. What's crazy is we're seeing this 13-year-olds. We're now seeing a third of 13-year-olds have degeneration in the lumbar spine, let alone what's happening to the neck.
Okay, we're going to be encouraging, though. All right?
We are going to be encouraging.
This is the bad news, but there is some good news. I mean, not necessarily good news, but there are ways that we can help deal with this. So you brought a couple props for us. Well, I carried the 30-pound weight over here. It was really quite,
You did.
Yes.
And it's something to put in perspective. I mean, this is the weight of your head. Okay, so take this weight, right?
Do I take the 15?
You take the 15. Well, you're going to take 15 first. But I don't want you to hold it there because you don't hold your head up by the middle of your face. You hold it at the base of the neck. So literally hold it down here. Okay. I'm going to get you to hold like this, like that. Okay. Hold just at the base. Okay. Yeah. And now start to come forward and see the extra. As you come forward like that, see the excess weight. Okay. Now, take the 30 exactly. Okay. And you're an athlete. Okay. Take the 30-pound weight. And this is what happens only being 15 degrees ahead. You've actually doubled the weight of your head.
That's crazy.
It is crazy.
The concept of it is frightening.
It is absolutely crazy. And it's interesting. I mean, the Mayo Clinic knew, years ago, more than 17 years ago, this leads to pinched nerves, disc herniations. What scares people the most, unfortunately, is that you don't want to become the stereotypical little old lady that has the big hump at the back. But that's what happens. That's not genetic. It's years of doing this to yourself.
You've been able to show us here. I mean, we saw the slides, but...
Well, exactly. So what's happening is these are the vertebrae, okay? And when you're constantly in that forward jam position like that, you're going to jam the vertebrae, you're going to compress the discs, you're going to pinch the nerves, and understand that's how your brain communicates with the rest of the body. That's how we have an effect on, on headaches and neck pain and things like that. The scientific term chiropractors use is subluxation, but you're also affecting your body's ability to maintain optimal health. You're short-circuiting your internal electrical system.
We do have the ability, though, to work on this. There's a great website. It has details on what's happening, on exercises you can do, on alerts. Even your phone can alert you to every once in a while to say, look up, and to kind of bring your head back up.
Well, that's exactly it. So it's called lookupcanada.org, and we'd like Canada to look up Canada, take a mobile moment. And so, exactly, there are a number of things you can do. I mean, number one, limit the time, okay?
Right.
Number two, hold your device up here if you're going to be on that. Number three, you will get mobile reminders if you go to lookupcanada.org. Everyone can join, and it's something where we have what's called a 20-20-20 rule. So every 20 minutes, take 20 seconds to look, elsewhere. If the subluxations, if you want to be checked for subluxation, or if you're having any of those symptoms, certainly see your family chiropractor. There are exercises you can do for postural and so forth. And again, as I said, we want everyone involved. This is a nationwide public awareness campaign.
Because it will be a nationwide issue.
Absolutely.
Down the road.
Absolutely.
Great information. Look up canada.org. There's all the posture, the exercises, everything's on that website.
Everything.
Thanks for the information. It's great to see you again.
My pleasure.